So this confusion has gone on since the Confederate cemetery was established, but actually I think the terminology city cemetery was maybe a problem even earlier. This is officially the Fredericksburg Cemetery, but it's not a municipal organization. So many people think that we're supported by the city because it just picked up that nickname. Now, it was established in 1844 outside of the city. So we're way in the country here. Yeah, we're at the edge of town. And the original gate, you can see over this way, faces William Street. That was Commerce Street. And in 1853, so not even 10 years into the history of the cemetery, the Plank Road Company decided to cut down the bank as you head out west towards Orange.
Yeah.
So it's not so steep. You imagine, this is a horse pulling a wagon, so you don't want a steep hill.
Absolutely.
So they cut it down so it's a little smoother, and without any regard for the fact that you had to be able to get another horse drawing a wagon, which would be a hearse, coming into the cemetery. The turn became very sharp. They took it to court and it was arbitrated, and the Plank Road Company was required to build up a wall so that the bank wouldn't collapse. I doubt it's the same wall that's there now, but that's why you have that very high sidewalk along William Street. The gate is beautiful. It's made of Massaponic sandstone. One of the original founding board members of the cemetery ran that quarry, Mr. Conrad Hunt, and put that gate in. It's got a beautiful carving across the top, says Fredericksburg Cemetery. Well, until a few years ago, you couldn't much see that because of trees that had grown up over it. The trees were pushing on the gate. We had to take them down. We've now had to support the gate because it's got a nasty lean to it. So we've got some plans and looking at some ideas for what to do with that, but that gate hasn't really been used in over 100 years.
It's magnificent though, and until those trees went away, I hadn't even noticed how magnificent it was.
Exactly. It shows up so much nicer now. But it was used for pedestrians. People would come in and visit the cemetery. There's that whole 18th century Victorian business of, coming in and visiting family and having picnics in the cemetery and that sort of thing. Many, many cities have bigger, fancier cemeteries. Hollywood, Laurel Hill, some of those with the winding paths.
Right.
This is more laid out in a very orderly fashion, but people still did that and still do, as a matter of fact.
There's a lot of history here.
We've got some great people. So we're standing here in the center of, we're about section 4. There are 12 sections in the cemetery, and the count for the lots does start with the old gate. So you come in at the Confederate gate, which again came in after the war. So it's 20 some years newer than the Fredericksburg Cemetery. But we're standing right here in this area that's within the beautiful cast iron fencing. That is the Mercer lot, and that is the family of General Hugh Mercer. It's got some beautiful stones in it.
Isn't that interesting? But that would go way back.
Yes. So of course Hugh Mercer is buried in New Jersey where he died.
Yeah.
But then his family stayed around here, and they're still here. Further than that, we have the. When the cemetery was founded, they gave the 4 center lots to what they called the 4 churches, which was Baptist, Presbyterian, Methodist, and Episcopal. So those 4 churches each got a lot for the burial of their pastors and pastors' families.
Interesting.
And it's evolved because many times pastors are moving on or retiring elsewhere or back to where they came from. Some things, but in recent years, the Baptist Church established a memorial garden, much like the cemetery's memorial garden, and now the Presbyterian Church has added one. So that beautiful Celtic cross that you can see over there, up against that dogwood tree, it's really pretty.
Yeah,
that's the Presbyterian churches, and that's fairly new, and those are for their parishioners. And what all 3 memorial gardens do is allow for the interment of ashes directly into the earth. You might use a container that's going to sort of quickly biodegrade, so cardboard, paper, that kind of thing. But otherwise, it's really just an ashes to ashes, dust to dust kind of thing. And then these areas can be perpetually reused. The names are going on bronze plaques. You can see the bronze on the Presbyterian Church. The Baptist Church has got one. And then our memorial garden is right over this way. It's a beautiful tall obelisk with an urn at the top, and the urn is shrouded, and that's symbolic of the ashes and the death. So there's another one right here with an urn that's shrouded, and people always think it's sort of a bird.
Yeah.
Up there on top, but that's an urn. But at any rate, we just had our most recent interment a couple of weeks ago at the Memorial Garden. So it was really lovely. It was the wife of the man who was our first interment in the Memorial Garden. So
people are still being buried here.
People are still being buried here. We have these 3 lots for ashes, and then we also I work to reclaim spaces that have been unused and neglected, forgotten by the families, and there's a legal process that we can go through, or if we can reach out to the descendants, they can relinquish their rights back to the cemetery. And so we've had some successes with that and enabled people to buy new full-size caskets. So one of those that's it's not nearby, but we can walk over there later maybe. But it's a great monument. It's got an image of a horse on it, and it was for Officer Jimmy Shellhorse, who was the mounted policeman here in Fredericksburg.
So he's here.
The public information officer, and he's here. A lot of his family is here, but there wasn't space in the family lot. It's a big family, and lots of descendants, but we were able to find a space, and he was interred here. But so we do still have spaces, and we do still work with families, and particularly people that do have ancestors in here. I love to make sure that they know that they can be interred with their ancestors, particularly now as cremation is becoming more and more popular. We could put your ashes at your grandparents' feet, that kind of thing. They don't take up as much room. We don't have to dig as deep. We don't go down to the coffin depth for ashes. So it's really, we don't have limits. Modern cemeteries put limits. They'll maybe only let you put 2 or 3 sets of ashes in a grave, but that's because they want to sell you another grave because they've got more land and we don't. So we want to make it as easy as possible, and it's really economical as well as ecological to put ashes directly into the earth. But if you want to be in an urn, that sort of thing, we can sell spaces for that too, because we have spaces that are not big enough for casket, places where the gravestones have gotten out of line, out of whack, and such. So we can sell smaller spaces for that, and we've done that quite a few times, but I haven't run out yet.
So there's a Facebook page where you can follow things and the history and stories, and people can get involved with the cemetery.
So the new Publisher Hotel across the way here,
right? They
have a private dining room, seats maybe 10 or 12. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's got a beautiful table. Fraser wood elements made it. It's got a natural rough edge table. It's all one huge piece of oak because it was made from one of the trees that came down from our gate.
Oh, interesting.
So that tree is sort of immortalized in the dining room at the Publisher. That's been really nice. Sometimes we will do cleanups where we're actually cleaning stones. We've worked with the Historic Preservation Department at the college, and several times we have run cemetery conservation workshops. So we're teaching the students in historic preservation, and then we also invite the community members for a small fee it's a 3-day workshop, so you really learn a lot. A lot of it's what not to do. Don't come in here with a wire brush do that. You lose the inscriptions, and these aged stones take a lot of care. But it also tells you what you can do, what you as an individual person can do to successfully help maintain the cemetery. So we've got a fellow right in the cemetery right now working on stone repairs. He's repairing the stones that were damaged from the vandalism that happened in May, and but he's also repairing stones that have fallen due to natural age, settlement, that sort of thing. And he is a graduate of the university, came through the workshop programs twice, and then working with the conservator that we had hired out of Pennsylvania, he's been set up in business, and now he's doing stone conservation for us and other cemeteries. So keeping that trade alive, because that's a critical thing.